Good morning, world. Well, it's the day after the night before. Sorry, I borrowed that from, I think, Tom Syndicate. I do watch his vlogs. But, we're out. We're about this morning. Just wanting to relax and enjoy the day. Get out and enjoy it. I had a question recently by just a friend, and that question really was, excuse me, it's still a little chilly out, asked, well, what do you eat? And, I started to say, well, I try to eat grains, not so much during the summer, but during the winter or cooler months. I like having oatmeal, and I try to eat 3 solid meals. I have in the past gone with better meals, but you know what? Things worked out, and I was able to have a friend live with me for a bit, and he's been able to supplement. But again, what do I eat? I know I'm going off a different topic. Well, I try to eat some from when I was originally trained, called the meal, Choices was the one. I did live a bit under the exchange program, but Meal Choices is really the one. So, I would try to have some starches, and then I said I would like to, have some veggies, big thing of veggies, and then I'd also like to have a protein. And she said, oh no, you have to have this powder. Oh, this powder will make, it'll revolutionize all your blood sugars, and you can get off insulin and that. And I turned to her and said, first of all, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I'm not getting off insulin for just having this meal supplement. And I may do another video on just what people are selling, and people are buying these supplements and they do absolutely nothing. But, people keep buying them. Now, I think I've mentioned in a previous vlog that type 2 diabetics can get off a lot of their medication or their medications by losing weight. But everyone is different. Sorry there, Nico had his paw caught in the leash. But, everyone seems to have an organic thing. Oh yes, it's all made from natural, and you'll get off your insulin or your diabetic medication, I think they call it. Well, I think I just said it. If you're type 2 and you have diabetes, it can be that you will or could lose some weight. It just looks a little dark. There we go. But don't necessarily fall for these supplements, and especially if they start making a claim that they're going to cure you of diabetes. Type 2 people Well, sometimes the only way that you're going to cure, if possible, and I'm not saying it'll work, but is to lose weight. Type 2 or type 1s, of course, yes, if I am able to lose weight, then, I'm sure my body would like it a lot. But it's not going to cure me. Now, you really have to think about these things. That I've even heard ones that would claim that, come on, it'll cure type 1 diabetes. And, if you really think about, and the medical establishment is, trying to squash so that they can make money. Well, think about it. If there really was a cure, you think you'd hear more than one person spouting this? Oh, well, yes, but it's a little known fact and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not going to happen. If there was a cure, it would come out and, people say, well, they said there would be a cure, blah, 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 blah. I haven't seen this so-called cure. But, you know what? And blah, 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 blah. So, what can you do? Well, type 2 diabetics, you produce some insulin. And they keep saying, we're close to a cure. Well, they might be. But a life of a diabetic now, virtually from when I started, has changed quite a bit. When I started with diabetes, I had to eat, just a specified foods. They kept saying you weren't allowed any sugar, and you gotta eat. And that's where I think I spoke in the previous video, that's where my father got the idea. Oh, well, you have to get up at the crack of dawn. Well, he just wanted chores done. But, with the insulin pumps that came, that gave us some liberation. It has a basal rate, and then you take insulin when you need to. So, that gave us, we could eat when we want. We still couldn't eat what we liked. So then came counting carbs. And for every meal, you would have to figure out how many carbs are in this, how many carbs are in that. That was sort of the biggie. You were allowed to start, if you went to a birthday party, especially a young child diabetic, if they counted the carbs, they could have a slice of birthday cake. So often people you're a diabetic, you can't eat that. It's like, Oh, yes, all we choose celery all day. Yes, all we choose celery. Oh, you're eating too much. My grandmother. So, eating is a part, and for any diabetic, you need to eat regularly. I don't care if you're type 1 or type 2. Now, you don't let yourself get so hungry and do nothing about it. You need to take care of you. Living well, when you get up, you need to have something to eat. Now, that's going to stop a lot of times, of low blood sugars and so what do you really need for a good meal? Well, you can find Tupperware sells them where you can divide your food up. And, they say for vegetables it should be a fist side, and use a fist because the fist for starches and for any carbohydrated foods, which are any starch, a fist is the guideline. About that would be a choice. Now, for starch foods, they say a fist is relatively 15 grams of carbs. So, and then, you should have some vegetables. And people say, well, vegetables are always good. Well, they are good. And you should eat vegetables. However, a little trick I've kind of learned is the green vegetables don't necessarily have carbs. It's when you get into like your corn or carrots, the deeper the color. So if you're wanting to maintain your weight, your doctor will give you an idea of how many carbs you should be having in each sitting. Now that's a guideline, and like I said, sometimes you may want to go and have a few extra carbs. Well, if you don't, you may find life being pretty boring. People say, oh, well, you won't have low blood sugar if you just eat an all-natural diet. And you should go to a nutritionist and they'll lose all this weight and you'll just be so happy because you're eating all the wrong foods. And you're just eating sugar. I'm eating sugar because I have a low blood sugar. Hello? But, people need to realize that sometimes diabetics are allowed to have sugar. Now, ideally, you shouldn't be eating sugar yes, I'm just counting the carbs. But, that's eventually going to be hurting your blood sugar and it'll be raising it. So, you shouldn't be having it all the time. But, like I said, if you go out and you're out for dinner and, you decide to have that sweet dessert that everyone loves, you can go ahead. So you can eat, special occasions if you're out at a fairground. Just keep track of the carbs and give your insulin based on that. But regular days, try to keep a steady diet so that, in an average diabetic, you can watch what you can increase, or you can decrease, or you can be stable. But you gotta watch and you gotta count your carbs. You'll start learning about hidden carbs and that. But take care, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.